All right, my friends. Today we are going to be looking at water. Investigation 1. This is lesson 7, water on a slope. Okay. Our essential questions are, does water always flow downhill? How does changing the slope or the quantity, that means how much of the water, change the speed at which it flows downhill? So the purpose of our lesson is to place drops of water to observe the flow of water downhill. You're going to observe how changing the size of the water beads affects the flow, as well as how increasing the slope affects the flow. All right, the materials that you need: a place in your home or the classroom where it's okay to get things wet. You're going to need a tray. If you don't have a tray at home, I recommend a cookie sheet. Cookie sheet is a nice flat surface, so you could definitely use that to help you to create that slope. Okay, you're also going to need wax paper. Okay, wax paper and paper towels for cleanup, a cup of water with a plastic dropper, and a few heavy books that you have in your home that you can use to create a nice slope that we will be looking at to see how steep we can make it. Okay, all right. And of course, you also need to have your science notebook. Your science notebook needs to be open to page 5. Okay, and page 5 is simply a response sheet titled Water on a Slope. Okay, it looks just like this. You're going to describe what you've observed when we place water drops on a slope, and then we're going to do water races and figure out which drops were the winners in those races. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to set up my slope and my tray. We'll start off with using this book, this Harry Potter book here, and I will increase my camera there so we're able to see. And then we're going to take our tray with our wax paper on it. Okay, now you're going to need to sort of cut it down a little bit so that it fits, or maybe even just fold it over, like so. Folding it would work just as well. We're going to take a drop of water, okay, and I want you to think about what's going to happen to this one drop of water that is just laying there when we create a slope. So there is our one drop of water, okay, right there, one drop. So what's going to happen? I'll do another drop over here, another one over here and here, okay? So you can see as a number of different drops on there. So what's going to happen when I create a slope? Well, yeah, the water's going to flow downhill, okay? So let's go ahead and see how quickly the water's able to flow downhill with just the one book as a slope. Okay, here we go. It's on a slope. Kind of creeping along there, right? Creeping along, but it's moving downhill. It's definitely moving downhill. One over here. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to dry that up for a second. And we're going to increase the slope by adding a second book. All right. So here we are going to add the Chamber of Secrets. Okay, nice big thick book. Put our water droplets on there again. Again, this is a level platform here. Okay, just put some drops there. Now we've increased the slope, so it's a steeper slope. So do you think the water is going to go faster? Slower? Let's find out. Okay, here goes. Ah, it went much faster, didn't it? Not quite as fast as we might think it might go, but it's still rolling down there. Okay? All right, so now we're going to add another book. Let's see what happens when we've added our third book and we've made it a much higher slope. Okay, let's put our droplets, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Oops, let's make that a little bit bigger. There we go. Now, let's see what happens when our slope is much steeper. All right, here we go. Oh, did you see how quickly that dropped down? So the result of our lesson shows us that when the slope is steep, the water is going to flow faster. So let's take a look at our workbook page here. And this should be page 5. Okay. And we're going to describe what we observed when we placed the water drops on a slope. So with one book to create a slope, the water flowed downhill slowly. Notice I have the word flowed. That is one of our key vocabulary words. Okay. Slope is also a key vocabulary word. Okay. When I added a second book, the droplets went faster downhill. After adding a third book, the slope was very steep. Okay, very steep, and the droplets zoomed quickly downhill. Okay, now I'm just going to put like a little star here that says the steeper the slope, the faster the water flows. That's our lesson. Okay, the steeper the slope, the faster the water flows. Now I know I write quickly, so I'm going to pause there. Okay, so you're able to jot down your observations. And then we are going to go ahead and do water races. Fun times. Okay, so now we are going to move on to water races. So what does that entail? Well, we need our books back. Okay, we're going to start off with the very first book, okay, of Harry Potter, which we had before. And I'm going to clear off my wax paper. All right, and clear it off. Now, take a look at this. And you can get new wax paper if you want. I'll actually go ahead and put some new wax paper down there since we're doing the second part to the investigation. This time, we're going to do something a little bit differently. Okay? We're going to increase the size of the water droplet and see what happens, if that makes a difference. Okay? So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and do... Make sure this is up high enough so you can see. I'm going to do 1 drop. Okay. Then over here, we're going to do 2 drops so they can bead together. 1, 2. Now we're going to do 3 drops. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to do 4 drops and have them bead together. 1, 2, 3. Drag them over here. Hey, you're trying to get ahead here. Whoa. Okay. Now, we're going to create that slope. But before we do that, we're going to make a prediction. Which drop is going to go the fastest? Is it going to be 1? It's going to be with 2 drops to form it, make it bead, 3 drops, 4 drops, or 5 drops. So you go ahead and make your prediction, and let's test it out and see what happens. Okay? All right, we're going to go ahead and put it on a slope. Here it goes. Whoa, did you see that? Well, the one that was the two that were the heaviest went. I don't know what happened to this guy here. Maybe he got stuck. I'm not 100% sure. But I definitely would say that the larger the droplets are, okay, the larger the droplets are, the faster they're going to go downhill. I'm going to put some fresh wax paper on there. We're going to increase our slope. We're going to use the same amount of beads, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, but we're going to add another part to our slope. So we have our second book now. All right, now let's see what happens. Here we go. We have 1 drop. Now we have 1, 2. Now we're going to add 3 together. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, whoops, put that together. 3, put that one in there. 4, 5. And the other one keeps trying to sneak his way. Keeps trying to sneak his way down quicker. No, 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 no. We got to make it a fair race here, guy. All right, so now we have 2 books. Make your prediction. No connecting. Make your prediction as to which one is going to go down the fastest. And on your marks, get set, go. Oh, would you look at that? It literally went 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. If that didn't show you how quickly it went down the hill with the extra weight, okay? All right, so let's try adding a 3rd book. We're going to make this a much larger and much steeper slope, okay? Here we go. Here is wax paper. See how quickly down this slope it will go. So, all right. Okay, we've got 1 drop, 1, 2, 2 that are beaded together, 1, 2, 3 beaded together, 1, 2, 3, 4 that are beaded together, and no cheating here, drop 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, he's still trying to get a head start. No. All right, so 3 books. Nice steep slope. Marks. Get set. Go! Holy moly! That was like Speedy Gonzales. And we still have this little guy. Oh, look at that. Did you see how he came back in? Look at this. Look. Boom! Made a beat it up together when it caught it. Now, this is super cool. You can do so many fun things with this wax paper and with the water droplets that are beading up together. You can actually create a maze if you would like and watch it go through the maze if you really were interested. All right, so let's take a look here at our response sheet. This is page 5. Which drops were the winners in your water races? Okay, so the winners were always the drops that were combined to equal 5, right? You can rewrite it however you want, okay? They went the fastest because they were the heaviest. They went the fastest because they were the heaviest. And again, I know that I happen to write very quickly, so I'm going to pause there. And if you have any other observations, you can, go ahead and chat with your classmates and with your teacher about those. And I suggest that you think about making a maze if you're interested. You could take a blank sheet of paper, make a maze, put it on top of your wax paper, and try to get your little water bead to go through the maze. Pretty fun. Okay? All right. Great job today, friends.